the Shabbat decided to do Sunday. You know, everybody has to go on Sunday.
And it could be the fact that my fonts, you know, like it's a lot of Hebrew fonts and stuff, might switch it all around on your computer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's just.
While you're up,
Just do lesson 3 today.
3. Oh. I thought he did. Did you? I got everybody, right? Yeah, I think have you been getting them? No? Maybe I'll have it. Maybe sometimes I can't read them, but I will try to send. I need to put a star by your name so I send them all. But I'll try to send the week we did, like I'll send 3 this week, and I'll send 4, and I'll send 5. So if I send the week we did, the week we're gonna do, and then maybe another week, because I'm thinking some of you are probably ahead. Is your name Liz? Liz?
Elizabeth.
Oh, Elizabeth.
Can I give one to the young lady of the president that happened?
Your name is Richard? Sometimes people have their name in their emails and sometimes they don't, so. Okay, somebody like to pray. I think I want to start with the prayer today. Anybody? No? Oh, here, we got one more coming. Okay.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful lessons that you're going to receive. We thank you, God, for that we have the freedom to come to your house to worship you. Lord, we praise you for all that you do, and we ask you to open our minds, our hearts, and our spirits to receive everything that you have for us. In the holy name of Jesus the Christ, Yeshua the Messiah, we say yes, all these things. All your children say amen.
Amen. Okay, I think today we're going to start with our conversation, mainly because last week I kind of gave you this week's anyway, so you should kind of know what it is. And it's also a way to kind of introduce ourselves again. So what does the word ani mean? I. In Hebrew, is there a word for am?
No.
No. How about is?
No.
No. Are?
No.
No. So when you say ani, it's I am. Okay. So I would say ani Sue, because I am Sue. Now, if I want to ask who you are, okay, the word for who is what? Me. Who is me? So, and then what's the word for you masculine? Ata, and you feminine? At. At and ata. Okay? And remember that ani, at, and ata are going to be very useful to know when you get into higher Hebrew and start conjugating, because you're going to use those words in the verb. A lot of Hebrew actually has pronouns and adjectives and all kinds of stuff embedded in the word. So you're going to need those. So that's why we learn them, and it helps us so you can introduce yourself. So then I think that's all we did last week, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to go around. We'll go this way. Alright, so I would say Ani Sue Miat.
Ani Lisa. Mia.
Ani Efi. Miat. Miat.
Ani Kristen, Mia.
Ani Marilena, Mia.
Ani Elizabeth, Mia.
Miat.
Ani Risa.
Miat.
You would say Miata.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Mia.
Asa.
Ani Risa.
Oseata.
Ani Dini, Mia. Ani Karen. Mia.
You can say Ani in your name. Okay. Miat.
Yeah, you're asking who she is.
Ani Erica. Niata.
Ani Jason.
Okay, good, alright. So we know Ani, we know men are atop and women are on. And then the word me is who. The thing is, in Hebrew, just like Spanish and most languages, everything has a masculine and a feminine. So, and then they all have to agree and all that sort of stuff. But in this class, we're not really going to get into a lot of that. I will mention a few things, just because it's interesting, but as far as this class, we're just learning how to read the letters, okay? How to do transliteration so we can read the board properly, and how sometimes it helps you to write the transliteration down to help you pronounce it. The thing that scares me the most is I don't want you to get hooked on transliteration. In other words, having to write it down every time. By the time you get to lesson, say, 6, about halfway through the book, you shouldn't depend on it. You should try to do it without transliterating it. It's just sort of a help to help you see what it looks like and get it in your head. So, and then we're going to do some cursive. Now, cursive is used in Israel, and if you go on to a higher level class and you write sentences, whether it either be conversation or biblical, you'll be writing sentences. It's so much easier if you do cursive. I've had people, and we won't say which gender they usually are, that just say, I'm not going to do the cursive. I don't want to do the cursive. But then when they go on, they say, I wish I'd learned the cursive. So I'm just telling you now, if your plans are to go on, try to do it, okay? Plus the fact that I never learned the right block. I never learned it, so everything I write on the board is cursive. So that's just the way it is. When I went to Israel, I've been numerous times, but one time when I went to Israel, we actually went into the schools and we were doing some things for Hanukkah. It was around Hanukkah, so we were doing Hanukkah parties and stuff like that. And so I just decided I'd like to visit one of their classes. So I went to a 3rd grade class, and they all stood up and said the alphabet for me. And so I asked the teacher a few little questions, but what they do over there is in kindergarten, just like our kindergarten, they learn the letters. And in 1st grade, they learn the letters and the vowels and all how to put them together and a few of the rules. 1st grade, they read with the vowels, like we're reading with the vowels. 2nd grade, they do a little more reading. But by 3rd grade, they try to wean them, because over in Israel, they don't use the vowels. Now, you will see them on the street signs, but like if you see a advertisement or something on a window or in a store, there's no vowels. And a lot of times it's in cursive, because cursive's pretty, you know, like we do. We write pretty things, we want it to look great. So just like we use cursive to make things look pretty, they use cursive too. So that's why I'm teaching you this. So you don't have to learn it, is what I'm saying. If all you're going to do is read it, it's not mandatory. But one of the things I've decided to do this year, which, you know, for me it's been real interesting, because now I'm up to lesson 10. So I've done 10 of these. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the letter and what the Jewish people believe it stands for, because it gives you a little bit of insight in certain words, okay? Now, I'm not into Kabbalah or anything like that, or mysticism or numerology or anything like that. But God does use certain numbers over and over in the Bible. And there are certain things that when you understand, oh, that letter represents this, you kind of, it's like you're in awe of the fact. So today we're going to do 2 new letters, but before that, I want us to practice and to review. I try to review every week, so we kind of go over it. If you have a piece of paper, or if you don't, I have these boards if you want to write on them. I got.
One more.
Okay, let's
One
try
more,
to.
please.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a cleaner one.
And then one more. Thank you.
Oops, here.
Thank you.
It's this. I have some more in the car, but I didn't get them. All right, so I am going to write the name of the letter on the board. All right, bet. And so I want you to put the cursive bet on your paper, if you have a piece of paper, or on a board or something, and we'll come around, Lisa and I'll come around. Make sure you, like he's gonna see, if you got this, so you can just show us, see if you did it right. And underneath it, I want you to put the sound, or what you're gonna use in transliteration. Okay? So he's got the right answer, if everybody wanna look. There it is. So bet, to me it looks like a dinosaur head. You've got a little eye in there. Who can tell me what that little eye means? The little dot. What is it? Well, first of all, what is it? What's its name? Doggish. Knowing that it's a doggish is not that important, but I'm going to tell you that because, like I said, a lot of you, I'm hoping, will go on. We're trying to get a higher level class after we're finished with this. So I'm telling you things that you'll need in the next class, but if you learn it now, it's a little easier, right? So what does the little doggish do to the letter?
Well, it changes.
Soft.
Hard.
Hard.
Yes, it makes it a hard sound, like "b" is a hard sound. So what is the soft sound of this letter? Bet. So it's still it's the same letter, only this one is the hard sound of B. This is the soft sound of, see, with the soft sound, you can hardly hear it. But you can hear, you know. So any question about bet and bet? That was the first ones we did. All right, next. See if you can do this one. Resh. Okay, good. Now, resh looks like the block. So a lot of the cursive does look like the block. So that's a good thing. So it looks like this. Resh is curved. And the other thing about the letters that we know is, if you've never even taken a Hebrew class, if you look at the word resh, how do you know what the sound is?
The first letter.
The first letter. So that's a clue. Resh is an R. And it's curved. All right, the next one.
I don't know if I drew it right, but
That's a block. You know the cursive?
oh, yes.
Excellent.
Sorry.
Yeah, the block looks like this, and this block looks like that, sort of. So the resh and the dalet in block are really, you really have to watch, because this little tail out here, whatever you want, tongue or whatever is sticking out, it's so small, especially if the font is small. You really have to watch. This is really difficult to tell the difference until you've, sometimes even if you know the word, you almost have to know what the word is. But in cursive, It's easy, right? Because it looks like a corkscrew or something like that. Looks like that. So in cursive, you can tell the difference between a resh and a dollar. But when you're just reading it, it's hard. Okay? I'm gonna do it well. Alright, now, in Hebrew, are there any letters that are vowels?
Yes.
There is,
Yes,
it
that's
looks like
it.
it.
Okay,
So,
no,
No?
is the answer. But
what is that character?
some of the letters are used to make a vowel. So it's kind of weird. But technically there are no vowels. We have what's called nikud. A nikud is a vowel. Nikudot is a bunch of, all of them. So so far we have 3 vowels. The first one, okay, I don't remember what's first. Sereg. So on your board, what's the vowel look like? Sereg.
I have a question, because I've seen it written with a Z instead of an S.
Okay,
Which is,
doesn't matter.
okay, they're both the same.
Yeah, they're both the same.
Here in this classroom.
So the sadi, when we get to it, is like pizza. And so sometimes you'll see a TS, sometimes you'll see a TS, because it's, whatever. Oh, trust me on this one. Oh my word, I thought I was doing it correctly until I took a class from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, and my Hebrew teacher kept correcting me. And in my mind, I'm doing it correct, and she kept correcting me. So I'm doing it right now, she says, so we'll see. I think my sadi was more of a zadi, more of a Z than a t. So she's hard on me. So anyway, the good thing about the words for the vowels is that it also has within this word the sound. So what would the sound be for this one? Eh. Yes, the eh. And it's 2 dots. How would you transliterate the 2 dots? Just with an E. Okay? Alright, then we had 2 others. No, here's the other thing. Knowing the name of the nikudot is not tremendously important. So if you don't know the name of it, it's fine. When I took the class in, like I said, the Hebrew University, there's not one time she ever mentioned Sere, Patak, Kamat, not one time. And she's never mentioned it. All they do is say, that's an eh, or, they'll just correct how you're speaking. So the reason I do it is because we over here in America, we tend to want names for everything. So there it is. And when you get into the higher level, biblical Hebrew, you might say, well, is that a sere, or is it a patak, or a skamat, or whatever? Actually, because there's so many nikudot that are the same sound, when you're trying to spell something, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you actually, there are rules if you really want to know. I'm not really a rule person, but if you really wanted to know whether it's not going to be kamatz or patak, you can do that. But we're not going to do that in here. It doesn't really matter. We're just learning how to read. So that's the S sound. Then we have a kamatz. So here's that sadi again. So looking at the word, what sound does it have? Ah sound. Transliterated as a, and it's or it looks like a T. Looks like a little T underneath there.
Even in person.
there's no the Nikudot, there's no cursive. I mean, there's no cursive vowels. These are just symbols. These are just symbols. All right, and then the next one we had was a patak. So here again, what sound is that? Transliterated with an A. And it's like a hyphen or a little underline symbol or whatever you want. So these both have an sound. We need to know both of them because we're reading it. Here again, later when you're trying to spell something, if it's, I can't think of a word with Adon. Say it's Adon. You know, if you put a kamatz instead of patak, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Technically, you need to wean yourself from using these vowels anyway. So. All right, any questions about the 3 vowels we've had so far? All right, we're going to put some together. You can write it on your board or your sheet of paper here. So I'm going to write, we'll do 2 letters to start with. 2 letters, and you put the transliteration on your board, okay? So we're going to do this one. Right. Everybody got that one? All right, what is it? Bar. Bar. So this is a bet, so that's a B. This is a kamat, so that's an This is a resh. So we read Hebrew this way, but we write the transliteration. Okay? You'll get the hang of it, but any questions on that one? All right, let's see. Let's do another one. Trying to think of real words. Okay. Good.
What are these 2 words?
Bar? Who can tell me what bar is? We have bar mitzvah. What's a bar? Son. Yeah. Bar mitzvah, son of the commandments. A mitzvot is a command. So, bar mitzvah. Devar. Devar. Well, I really wanted to bear, which means speak, but let's see, well, I can't remember what devar means. It's a word too, but
I can't remember the word.
but to bear. But I didn't want to use bed again, so devar is a word too. All right, so everybody see how to do it. You've got your dalet, your your vet, your and your resh. Now, how do you know how many symbols are in a Hebrew word?
Is this the vowels?
Right, the number of vowels. So if I were to ask you, and I don't know if I do on this sheet or not, but pretty soon, to divide it into syllables, you have, there's a vowel, and this doesn't divide because it's one word. So da, bar, you have a vowel here, you have a vowel here, so 2 syllables, da, bar. This one has 1 syllable because it only has 1 vowel. If it had another one, then it would be bar. Now, when you have 2 syllables, which one is emphasized normally? Not all the time, but the second one. So kind of practice that. We will get to where we have a little rule that says, no, it's the first one. But right now, for the most part, You're safer to emphasize the second syllable than you are the first. All right. Any questions about what we've done so far? Because we're going to add something today. The one thing I like about the book that we're doing is right away we learn words. So you're not like having to learn 4 or 5 letters in the alphabet before you can actually start doing words. So today we're going to do, it's another letter with 2 sounds. Okay. Let's review our sounds here, our transliterations. All right, so when you have an A, what's that actually sound like? Ah, E, O, U. Ah, E, O, U, just like Spanish. The reason I'm saying that is because our next letter is so the I is what sound? E. So how would you pronounce this? Seen, like S-E-E-N. And this is sheen. Okay? So in the word is the transliteration of the letter. Because, you know, they spell it out in Hebrew and we're just transliterating it. So that's what it is. So they both have the same letter, but they have dots too. These dots are not called doggishes. It doesn't change the hardness and the softness. On your paper, if you printed it out and brought it, I showed you, and I'm putting on these worksheets how to write the cursive. Then that way you don't have to look them up.
We appreciate that.
Like I said, I didn't have a printer. I have them all on one sheet. I'll try to print that off so everyone could have one. But the problem I found with that was people couldn't figure out which one was which because they didn't know it yet. You see what I'm saying? They didn't know, so which one is it? So this way you have the one that we're doing on your sheet. Now, nobody's watching you do these, I'm just going to say, because I did it upside down and backwards for a long time. But so it didn't matter, it looked the same, but I found out that you're supposed to start at the bottom, go up and around.
Why is that? Because we're so used to doing the E. Like,
Well, okay, remember, which way do you read Hebrew?
Right to left.
okay.
So when you're writing, you know, you're going like this. See?
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't really matter.
Oh.
But, like I said, I just did it like an E for a long time. Nobody knows. It's just you. So both of these are the same letter. Looks like an E. And then it has the dot on the right corner here and the dot on the left corner here. So this one, by looking at the word, what is its transliteration? S. What? Yeah, like the ending. Dogs. Okay. So it's like that. What's the transliteration on this one? S-H. So this is a sh. This is a s. Now, the other thing I'm putting on your worksheets that I thought was interesting was a little bit about the letter sheen. How many of you have a mezuzah? Have a mezuzah? If you have a mezuzah, a lot of the mezuzahs will have the sheen on it. Okay? So the sheen is a representation of Shaddai. Shaddai means Almighty. So when they leave their house or when they come in, either one, they see it. But when you leave your home, it's supposed to remind you that, let's see, I got it here. Signifying the commands of the Almighty will bring peace if you follow them throughout the day. Okay? And they don't really worship it, but they do. They touch it a lot of times kiss it. Because it's the commands, just like the Torah, they reverence the Torah, and they have the, most of the time, mine has the 10 Commandments in it. So they put the 10 Commandments in, and you'll see a sheen on it. So not all of them have it, but sheen, that's what it means. So it stands for Shaddai, which is Almighty. It can allude to Shabbat, okay, the seventh day of creation. So it signifies peace, blessings, everything you want throughout your day, correct? And so that's why a lot of times you'll see it on the door. All right. Did everybody bring their paper today? Or if not, I'll write it on the board. So we're going to put the vowels underneath them. We'll just do a couple. Okay, so we've got S-H-E. Now it's not she, it's what? She. Yeah, okay. Sometimes when it's at the end of a word, it doesn't sound like an A, she. But it's actually she, but at the end it does kind of, when you're saying it fast, when you hear it in the synagogue, you know, it does sound like she. This would be what? Sa. Okay, the dot's on this side, so it's just an S. This is Sha. And this is Se. Okay? Then when we put them together, we can have like I don't know if that's a word or not. I'm just almost. We don't have the tag yet.
No, it's like
Shabbat. Sha. S-H-A-B-A-D. But we don't have the T yet. Oh, we're getting there. We're close. So 2 syllables, Shabbat, and it's not Shabbat, it's Shabbat. Just like when we get to Shabbat. The other thing, I guess I'm going to tell you here now, we haven't gotten to Shabbat yet, but when you have a dogish in the middle of a word, because normally the dogish is at the beginning of the word, a lot of times you will see it transliterated twice. So it would, just like Shabbat, it doesn't have 2 bets. So it's more like Shabbad, because it's a emphasis, it's a double, it's a, you know, that's basically why on Shabbat, when you put the T on the end, it's 2.
It's hard to see over here.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
That's why there's 2 sometimes you'll see. And we'll get into more of it, like hallelujah and stuff like that. They don't necessarily put all those L's in there, so they don't put all the B's in there either. So you'll say, why? Why is it transliterated S-H-A-B-B-A-T when there's only 1 bet? Well, because it's got a dogish in it. Just so you'll know, it won't drive you crazy. Right? Some people are like, why? And some people, I don't care. So, I will try to please both. Alright, on your little worksheet, it just has some things for you to look at. I try to put a little practice on the back. If you have your book, there's a lot of practice in the book. But, there's some more. Does everybody have one? Anybody? There's one lady, she's not here today, I guess. Doesn't have a printer. Okay, so we're going to look at our books. If you do not want to read, just shake your head and we'll go on. So let's look at page 13. Okay, Lisa, you wanna do this?
Sure,
Go-
okay.
We'll go around.
Okay, so we're gonna start on page 13. You wanna start with which row?
Just do them all, I guess.
Okay.
They can do them.
Okay. Okay, so starting on page 13. Okay, you'll do the first one if you could.
Shesha.
Yes. Okay, Crystal?
Chess.
Shesh?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, Shesh. Okay, Madalena? Okay. You ready? Did you wanna try it? And I can help you with this one. So remember that when the dot's on this side, it's gonna be an S sound, so this would be sus. Yes, okay. Uh-huh. Okay, and then you can try the next one. You just got both, so this one is the, this is the S and the E. Se, and then this one with the dot on this side would make the SH sound. Se, Sesha, okay.
Say shop, yeah.
Sesha. Sa, sa.
Sa, sa.
Sa, sa. Yeah, cause it's the dots are both on the
Oh,
left side, so
okay.
sa, sa. Karen, you ready? You wanna try it? Okay, I'll give you the date, okay?
I'll try.
You wanna try?
Okay.
I'll try.
Okay.
Shashay, yes, okay. The last one on seven.
Okay, okay, yes, okay. You wanna try? Okay, you
Shabbat.
okay, yes, excellent.
Shabbat, everybody see that on number 8, Shabbat?
Okay, Effie?
Hey,
Yes, the second one.
the second one. Okay. Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah. Yes.
Mhm. Crystal?
Sheda.
Yes, okay. Marlene? Shawa? Yes, excellent. Okay, you ready to try again? Okay, so this is the resh, so it's gonna make the R sound, and then this, you know what this sound is, the ah. So it's Rosh.
Yes.
Rosh, you got it, Rosh. Okay, you wanna try, so this is gonna, since the dot is on this side, this is the S sound, so then that's sas. Yes, sas, okay. Mm-hmm.
Sas, yep.
Okay, yes, you're ready?
Chef.
Chef,
Chef.
exactly,
Chef.
okay, It's okay, take your time. Okay. So here, this is gonna be the S sound. Sar.
Sorry, okay,
Yes,
so
sorry,
that
yes.
is, so that's a R.
Yes, you have your S and your A and R. S A R. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so then, this way. Okay. Oh, well, yes, we're coming to you. Okay, so we just did SARS. Yes.
Dosh, okay, last one. Now this is the harder one, it's got 3 letters.
Okay, that's the ready?
Okay.
Yes.
Basar.
Basar, yes, excellent. Crystal?
Darash.
Yes. Okay. Madeline? Sabash. Sabash. Shabar. Yes, Shabar. Okay. Okay, let's try this one, even if y'all wanna try it together, so. This is gonna be the S sound with an A, so that's gonna be sa. Can you remember this? Sarad. Sarad. Resh is in the middle, yes. Sarad, yes, yes.
That's when you said that.
Yes, yeah, because that resh and the dalet are so similar, but you know, the dalet just extends a little bit more, so yeah, so.
Alright, now in here, we're not going to concentrate on the meanings of words, but we're gonna pick out some. We wanna know some because we use them all the time in our services. So, I don't know about you, but you might see a lot of Messianic congregations that are called Sar Shalom. So Sar is one of the words that you've learned there to say, that's Prince. And what is Shalom?
Peace.
Peace. So it's Prince of Peace. Sar Shalom. So we will go through some of that. One last thing, especially for the new people, if you haven't found it yet, I mean, honestly, I don't like to promote things that I've done. I'm not that kind of person. But for those people who, if you can't be here, or if you go home and you go, I don't remember one thing she said, I can't go back because I don't remember. Or if you're reading your book and you go, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. On YouTube, if you look under my name, and there's another Suman, she sings. I can sing, but I don't have anything. I don't have any songs on YouTube. And I'm in a circle. I don't know why they put me in a circle, but they did. So, and hopefully you can recognize my face. Anyway, and you look under Beginning Hebrew Class 1, it will have the first 3 lessons. Lesson 1, Lesson 2, Lesson 3. And then the next one, Class 2, will have 4, 5, and 6. And then you can go over there, you can stop it whenever you want to stop it. I read certain pages out of the book. So then that way you're like, I don't like you to practice things that are not correct. You know, my piano teacher used to tell me, perfect practice makes perfect. In other words, don't practice it wrong because then you learn it wrong. So that's why I did this, and also because people can't be here every single week. So if you miss a week, you know that you can go online and you can see what we did. So anybody else have any questions? Also, if you don't know anything about Rosh Hashanah or the month of Elul, I have all kinds of videos on the biblical meaning of different things like shoes and salt and wheat and barley. And then I have what is Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, how does that relate to the Messianic community? So I have them all on there if you want to look at them. The longer ones where it says class, I had a class on Tuesday mornings, and so they're hour long. You don't have to, the shorter ones are the ones that are I just tell you what it is. The hour-long class, people ask questions, what about this, what about that? So if you just want a short version, look for the one that says 20 minutes or less, because I tried to keep them all within 20 minutes. Just kind of help out so you can see what the different holidays are that are coming up. If you don't know too much about them, we're still in the month of Elul. A month of Elul is awesome, and I have something about what is the Messianic month of Elul. So, all right, that's it, guys. You can stay, and I have some cards. You can quiz each other if you want. I'll have them here next week, and so when you get in here, if you want to practice them with a partner,